Hello everyone, welcome back to my Let's Play of the Real Kerbal program campaign. In the last episode, I basically, what was I calling it? Let's just go with autosave ship and hopefully that'll be it. Nope, that was not it. Okay, so that I put on the payloads. That can't be that good. Must have called it something. Moon Probe Launcher. That would have to be it. Excellent. There we go. We now have our Moon Probe Launcher. Now, in order for this to work, we're going to need some Delta V. And to make sure that I have enough, we're going to need 4,500 to launch off Kerbal, plus 860 to do the Munar transfer, plus 210 to capture Munar orbit, and then each one's going to need a little bit to just, do its own thing. Just want to confirm that action groups, yes, that toggles all of those. Toggle the solar panels is 9. Just want to make sure I've got these things right here. No, you can't do that, never mind. I was wondering if maybe I can say eject fairings as a custom action group, but that does not seem to be the case. So anyway, let's compact this down and let's start adding some more stages with the intent of that's not going to work that well, is it? Okay, let's put this thing up really high. There we go, perfect. The thruster weight is really low and it's not going to work at the moment, but that's okay because we're also not intending to launch that at the moment. So now if we put a engine on the bottom there, how are we doing? We have stage 8, which is basically our boost engine, gives us 2,375, so way less than we need. So now let's throw another. That's not cool. I accidentally clicked off my window. Throw another fuel tank on there. Thrust to weight ratio is still reasonably good, and we've got 3,500 meters per second of delta V. Now that is, I would say that's basically acceptable. But, well, that would be acceptable anyway to kind of get me into a low Kerbal orbit. Probably not, however, something that's going to be a stable orbit. So let's get a bunch more fuel and attach it. So I feel as though that is the way to go. And this time we're going to go for some. See, that gives me 300, 390. That one there gives me 320, 370. So it's better at sea level. What does this one give me? 320, 370. It'd be nice if there was something that was better than 320 at sea level. I'm thinking that this looks to be the best. So we now have 3 of those puppies, and we want to transfer all that fuel into the center stage. We also want to launch that one just there. It's going to give us a really high thrust to weight ratio, probably almost an unpleasantly high thrust to weight ratio. It's going to give us 4,900 meters per second of delta V before we get to the satellites. Now I'm not sure if taking these off affects that. It does. Wow. Okay, so it actually does the calculation for that. The first one's going to have over 5,000. See, I'm still not sure if that's exactly as much as I'm going to need. 5,500. Yeah, that's got to be enough. I definitely cannot see myself needing any more fuel than that. I can see myself needing a stack of struts though, to stop this thing from caving in like crazy. Why you not work? Let's try again. There we go. and then we'll rely on the structural integrity of that fuel hose to help hold things together, and then maybe just 2 more struts. I'm liking the look of that. Thrust to weight ratio of 2, which is right up there on the side of where we want things to be. How are we looking for costs? Wow! 31,380. That's kind of expensive. I also haven't tried flying one of these fairing type contraptions very often in the FAR mod, so there's every potential that this is going to go horribly wrong. But the important thing is, I believe we have way more fuel than we need, and that is always a good thing. In fact, scratch this design. I totally forgot my interplanetary type stage. Now if we throw our interplanetary type stage on and we throw on a decoupler, the price goes up slightly. And the delta V goes up substantially. Now I believe I should be able to take those off and still have 5,700 delta V. So that's going to be sufficient. Okay, so give me those little nose cones back, and I think we still have sufficient struttage there. How did that put the price? It dropped the price very slightly. So from our 124k, we just spent 30.880k. Oh, actually that's going to go up a little bit because, oh no, I have my Kerbal flight engineer already. Never mind, sorry about that. I guess now we launch things and see how we go. I'm so nervous about this. I can just tell that there are going to be explosions and bad things happening. But anyhow, Moon probe launcher saved. And prepare to launch. Rub your hands together. Hope everything works really well. That's all I can say. Kinda nervous. I'm also wondering if maybe it won't just sit on its own engines and fall apart. That looks to be good. Okay, so we're going to press 0 now to extend our communicatrons, and I'm just going to try and get myself zoomed in here a little bit. Yep, they have definitely extended. Now what we are going to want to do is throttle up to 100% and check the status of the things in orbit around us. So we have our 3 communication stations. This is going to be easy. Okay, and launch. Now we're going to start to slowly tilt it over, trying not to tilt it too much because we don't want this thing to become unstable, because unstable would be bad. Yeah, and we don't want to use SAS because it's going to shake things and until they, oh, going way too fast now. Now, with the FAR mod, we don't have the same delta V limits that we have with a standard setup that you would have in Kerbal Space Program, where you have to really keep below 200 meters per second until you hit 10 kilometers. You don't have that issue, but we do have the issue of things getting way too hot and heating up too much and causing problems. So we don't want that to happen either. We also don't want to go too fast, too low, because then the inherent stability of the craft will mean that I can't turn it and I can't control it, which is also a bad thing. So we'll thrust up a little bit now. Okay, thrust down a lot. Okay. Okay. I don't know entirely what happened then, but we definitely are in a bad spot. Okay, we are in a bad spot now. Come on, stop it, 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 stop it. No, stop it. There is some kind of funky aerodynamic drag going on here, and I can't tell for the life of me what's causing it. Yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of bad stuff happening very soon. Now, I know that Ferram's aerodynamic research mod changed the way that the payload fairings work, and I'm starting to wonder now if maybe that's not something to do with why I'm having this issue. But let's see if this is salvageable. I'm not thinking that it is, but at the very least I might be able to get some kind of something into orbit. I mean, we're accelerating, we're now climbing, we're back into a climb. That's a good start. We have lots of delta V left in this top stage, so at the very least I might be able to get these satellites into some kind of orbit, but I'm not super confident. Why would it do that? I think the end is just a tad too heavy. I think the end of this rocket is too heavy, and there's some kind of instability going on as I'm burning all my fuel up. Okay, throttle right down, disengage. Come on, seriously. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Yeah, there is really something going wrong, and I'm thinking it's something to do with the payload fairings. Because I have read about this on the forums, and I have heard about people having very similar type issues. We're nice and high, but we're going very slow. So I mean, our vessel has 1500 meters per second left of delta V in this stage. That is probably not enough to get into a stable orbit. I mean, I would be happy to be proven incorrect about that, but with our current apoapsis being not very high and our climb rate being not very good, I'm not really feeling it. I mean, we are thrusting a long way away from prograde, which is a very dangerous thing to do in the FAR mod, but we're also really high in the atmosphere, so it's probably not as bad as it could be. What are we getting ourselves up to? Yeah, there's not going that well, actually. Not going that well at all, in fact, actually. I mean, I've seen worse. I have definitely seen much more spectacular fails that people have made. I was hoping to be not one of those spectacular fail people, though. I was hoping that this would go off without a hitch. Clearly not the case. And clearly burning through a large chunk of my budget to find out all about failure. So we can now seek to detach that. We can ditch our payload fairings. We can ditch our bottom one. What kind of orbit did we get to? Okay. Are we actually thrusting? Okay. There we go. We haven't got a whole lot of delta V in this stage. But we're on our way up. We thrust directly towards prograde. We are still probably not going to make it. Now this is some very, very, very expensive probe equipment to have such a serious incident with. Now, it seems that stability is my problem, and I think that stability issue is to do with just having too much rocket payload and not enough ability to keep the rocket stable. We're accelerating quite nicely though. If we go to our orbital characteristics, oh no, we're going to burn up really spectacularly. But not without burning a lot of fuel first, we're not. How are we doing here? Yeah. We are in fact making it less likely that we're going to live by doing this. But this is going to be a very spectacular re-entry. Yeah, apoapsis is on its way down. That is never a good thing. We're about to start hitting the atmosphere. Oh yeah, look at that. Now we are really losing it quickly. For some reason, this tiny little engine actually looks more like a cold gas thruster than anything. It is not helping. We're on our way down. Abort, abort, abort! I don't actually have any abort kind of group set up, and even if I did, it would be mostly useless. So much electric charge, and not any of it is going to get to be used. Even my really expensive... Let's activate the detector. The important thing is they're going to burn up. They're going to burn up in the ocean. It's over the ocean anyway. It's not going to matter. That detectifying all that kethane. Actually, let's extend these panels. We want to see just how spectacular this re-entry death could be. And just in case something works. Okay, now we're starting to hit that point where things are going to go really bad for us, so let's turn flight computer. Let's turn no, retrograde. Send. Oh! We just lost our solar panels. Wow, they came off much quicker than I thought they would. Cut the throttle. You're not helping. Pitch nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up. Oh, no way. This orbit actually has gone better for me than most of my re-entries. Wait. Because you're still... Stop it. Okay, there we go. I have control again. I have taken control. I have taken control. Okay. Thrusting up. We've got to save at least one probe. I don't get any points back if I save a probe. But they're definitely all going to hit the water anyway, which means I'm not going to get any penalty points for it. Come on. 250, come on. 250 meters per second is still bad. You know, don't get me wrong. But we are slowing down as quickly as our little ant of an engine is capable of slowing us down. Let's be fair, that was a pretty expensive mistake to make. I really thought that was going to go well for me. Turns out that's a lot of money to lose. Like, seriously, lots of money to lose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to... No, I didn't hit launch. Nobody saw anything. This is a previous photo of what it may have looked like if you were looking at the previous launcher and you were replaying it on some kind of video replay machine. We are going to look at relay sat number 2. Now this particular relay sat has 5,300 meters per second of delta V. That I have been led to believe. Let's look at this. Are you going to be stable? I don't even know what that means. Control surfaces though, are we going to stall them? No. In fact, let's make that even a bit lower. And let's launch. We have to have some kind of successful mission. And I know I can launch these, and I know I can launch them with heaps of fuel left over. So the trick, I'm going to have to just get it onto some kind of lunar trajectory, and then everything's going to work great. So, taking off. Slight pitch over. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy, nothing crazy. Yeah, we know that this one was about 12,000, so... See, the thing is, it's not a third of the cost of the other rockets. It's more than a third of the cost, so it's definitely not entirely cost effective. Okay, I shouldn't have changed the amount I can turn these wings, because we're now ending up in a very bad situation where I don't have enough thrust to counteract gravity. No, that's not cool. SAS has failed me. Says I don't. Precision controls, please. Yeah, I do not have sufficient thrust to counteract gravity, so I'm going to get stuck in the thick atmosphere going way too fast. That's going to cause me loads of issues. Swing up! Swing up, you silly rocket! Gonna burn up and I'm gonna die. Gonna burn up and I'm gonna die. Gonna burn up, it's gonna be horrible. At some point this rocket needs to not kill me. Please don't kill me, rocket, please don't kill me. No, what the heck. Let's just see how bad we can make this go. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I'm gonna die. 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 May as well just live with it. Oh, this is like another episode of failure after failure after failure. If someone can tell me why it is I took something that worked perfectly well and then messed with it, I would be happy to hear about it. I would love to find out what I was thinking. Because I don't know. I mean, this rocket wants to pitch nose down. It really wants to plow into the ground, and I have insufficient lifting capability to stop it. Full thrust? Doesn't matter. Who cares? It's like, you know what? I don't care. Let's just go as fast as we can. Look at that. Let's blow things up. Awesome. Let's blow them up. Blow something else up. Hit the ground as fast as we can go. Sometimes I hate this game. Yeah, I don't care. I know I screwed up. Stop rubbing it in. Okay, so 22 degrees is the maximum amount you can put in. So let's update that for 20, because 20 is really what we want. We want it to be as much as we can get, not, hey, let's be stupid. Let's muck around with something that we know works. Let's see if we can break it. I hope you guys are enjoying watching me fail. I know that some people find it to be fun to watch other people fail. Personally, watching people fail isn't my thing. I personally like to watch people succeed. I like to watch me succeed. That's not what's happening here. That's not anything really like what's happening here. But we definitely... yeah, we definitely want to trim that up a little. Screw it, let's just let it wobble itself to pieces. I don't know why it just goes so crazy with the wobble. Well, I know why it is doing it at the moment, because if you look up here it keeps going into stalling, and when the fins stall it just moves them hard over to try and get some control authority back, which stalls it even worse, and then it kind of wobbles itself back into the airflow and is like, oh wait, I can do this, sorry. I don't know what just happened then. We just hit Mach 1, so we've now got ourselves into that really ugly regime where it kind of becomes even less controllable, if that's possible. We kind of need to accelerate out of it, but if we accelerate too hard while we're unstable, things just explode. Things have a real bad habit of exploding in this game. Like right now we're pitching up, even though we're not really kind of aiming to pitch up. Oh, I forgot to extend it! I don't care, we're not going through that again. That did not happen, nobody saw that. I am not doing a fourth launch just because I forgot. Pre-flight checklist, people. What I was saying is I'm not paying for another launch just because I'm not yet competent. Not yet competent. Super uber mega frustrated? Yes. Competent? No. So, no, I'm going to have to do it. That's going to be... okay, so just to make sure I mark this off correctly, that's the 12.7k plus the next 12.7k plus the next 12.7k. So, all of that money that I had succeeded in earning, I've pretty much just thrown away now. Thrown it away with the hope that I can indeed get myself up to the moon. Because if I get myself to the moon, this thing is going to make me maybe 25 or 30 grand. Maybe, if I'm lucky. I just can't believe how much money I've blown. Like, I mean, I had 120 plus K, so I had a reasonable reserve, and now I've just like gone and blown it all. Again, we've got to try and keep our nose really close on that prograde vector, and we've got to not tip over too far while we're accelerating, because that will put us in oh no state, and nobody wants an oh no state. Where is the moon through all this? It is behind us, so we kind of need to get to about here before we launch. But we are definitely going to see the feasibility of our Munar vehicles. What I'm kind of aiming to do is aiming to put my, I guess, my nose right on the edge of that circle as we kind of come around. So I'm accelerating, I guess, more and more flat. So now my apoapsis is up out of the atmosphere. So once I hit that point, I pretty much want to hold things right on that point sideways, and then just accelerate sideways as much as I can. I'm not worried about how high this apoapsis goes, because I've got to get it to the moon anyway eventually, so that's not a problem. But I need to try and keep this to be a fairly efficient climb while pushing this out as far as I can push it out. So this is going to come up here any second now and then bounce back down to me. So the important thing is that's really coming up quite quickly. I'm up out of the atmosphere now, really just burning hard. What have I got? Got a lot of delta V left. Still 1900 meters per second left in this stage. And I'm hoping it's not going to need all of that to circularize. Going to add ourselves a maneuver node just there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to 90, 141 by 152, 144 by 152, 147 by 152. That'll be perfect. So let's now pitch ourselves over and hold. Come on, hold it, hold it. Pretty much hold right on the money there. So that 316 is going to leave us with 1400 left, and 1400 from my little chart that I have here should be sufficient to get me to the moon and then to maintain a stable orbit around it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to circularize this orbit, and then I'm going to call an end to this video. Now that is going to land on the land, but because it's up out of the atmosphere and coming back down, it is going to meet the criteria I've set for burning up, so that's good things for me. Okay, we've got a 21-second burn. We want to start at about 10 seconds early. There we go. See, it's coming up nicely there. Just gonna hunt this for just a fraction of a second. There we go. I think that fits my criteria for being a circular stable orbit. You can see it's coming up to that satellite and bouncing back down, so it is indeed working the way that it should. Actually, let's now plan for, we want to burn just as the moon is rising, so that's about that point there. And then we want to burn our apoapsis up until we get an encounter. So the moon periapsis is going to be 1500. So let's go a bit quicker. 1540. Okay. 1555, it's getting worse. So clearly we need to burn it at a different time, so let's tweak that around. What are we getting now? 2.6, okay, so that was the wrong way to burn it. 305. There we're going to have a Munar impact. So now let's back this off a touch. 14 kilometer periapsis. We want to be really careful with this. Increase it really slowly. Now I don't know what that Munar encounter means. It looks like it's going to tweak my orbit, but not actually capture me. So that is going to be a Munar impact. Now, normally you wouldn't want an actual impact with the moon. The reason I'm going to aim for that impact with the moon is because by impacting the moon, I am going to set myself up that I can ditch this stage here, and it will crash into the moon, and then all I need to do is use that to just swing my orbit out a little bit. That must sound like a bad idea to everybody else as well. So let's fix that. $270 kilometer orbit. That's going to be perfect. I've decided that I don't want to have to wait and find out whether this works the way it's supposed to or not. Oh crap, probe. Stage locked. Okay. What we're going to have to do is go back to the Space Center and then come back to it. I don't know why this happens, but sometimes it decides that it's going to stage lock. And when it stage locks, you lose all control. I don't know how to get that control back. I don't even know what causes it. It is, however, a pain in the backside. See, I believe everything is still good, but I've lost my maneuver node. So instead we're going to have to do this again. We know that we want about 806 was about the right amount. Then we just have to tweak that until we get the orbit we want. You know what? 400 kilometers is fine. Happy with that. Really happy. So now let's tweak, 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 and hold. And tweak and hold. Okay, perfect. Now, that engine is activated. We just have to now wait until we get to the correct position. You can see we've changed satellites there to get less. Now, I don't know how long this burn is actually going to take, but I'm going to start at about 30 seconds before the node and then just burn and see what happens. That was pretty close actually, much closer than I thought it'd be. So I'm not entirely disappointed with how this has gone. Now this is going to be literally the first serious thing I've sent to the moon. I have watched so many other people do it, but I have not yet done one myself. So this is a bit of a longer episode, I realise that, but in my opinion this is worth it. Certainly for me anyway, this is like epically cool. And we have to start throttling back soon. Okay, so now we can bring up our node and clear it and find out what our periapsis is going to be like. 448 kilometers. That could most definitely have gone worse. Now we just bring this thing out. It's got lots of everything left. I just hope. Now, we want to go list comsats. So we want to point the satellite dish at this probe. I so hope this is going to work. Relay Sat 3, so we want Relay Sat 2 to point itself at Relay Sat 3. I really hope this works. I really do. Because I don't want to get into the situation where I end up losing control because I'm out of range. Like I said, I have not done this before. This is going to be a very, very new experience for me. Out of contact. Okay, so why? Okay, so we want to go to your Relay Sat 2. So Relay Sat 2. Okay, I think I can save this. Back to the Space Center. Tracking station. The first Relay Sat 2. Fly it. Okay. Now you, come on, bring up the controls. Okay, Relay Sat 2, that's you. We need to point the dish at Relay Sat 2 probe. Do it. I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I've got two satellite dishes. I've got one pointed at Relay Sat 2 and one pointed at Station 1. And it's not, for some reason, working. No way. I have to activate the dishes? What? Okay. Back to the Space Center. Back to this probe. We may not have long. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that other thing pointing at satellite dishes has worked now. It appears to have worked. Okay. Activate the dish. Activate the dish. What a stupid system. Okay. How long do we have? Don't panic. There is no need for panicking. Okay. Gonna set ourselves a maneuver burn there where we're going to burn retro-arse grade. Okay. So how long do we have? We have an hour and 45 minutes. Oh, that's plenty of time, not a problem. Okay, so Space Center. I have to be serious, you know, you learn something new like every single day when you're playing this game. In this particular case, I've learned like 3 new things. Okay, so you stop it. You activate the dish. Activate the dish. I still can't believe I have to activate the dishes individually. But to the Space Center. I think we have at least like 2 more probes to go to and activate their dishes. Oh, I mean, I know you guys can't see, but I'm shaking my head like crazy right now. The panic, the stress. Don't range 0 me. Okay, you are already activated. Haha, I had already activated those dishes. Okay, so Space Center nearly ended the flight then. That would have been hilarious for you guys watching, I'm sure. Are your dishes activated? If this guy's dishes are activated, that'll be everyone. Yes, okay. Back to the Space Center. Back to the final probe. Okay. We need to bring up our orbit map. We need to really understand what we're doing here. I'm feeling good about this now. I'm feeling like everything that could go wrong has already gone wrong, and now things are just bound to start working. That's what I'm feeling. There we go. Things are now working. What's the delay? 0.07 seconds. Yeah, this thing definitely had plenty of delta V, and I should have just used it in the first place. Haha, I nearly shot past it. That would have been embarrassing. We're a minute to go. Okay, that's only a 13-second burn left, so let's get way closer. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good enough. Okay, so how did we do? 471 by 437. That is a perfectly acceptable orbit, and we now have our very first probe in Munar orbit. So I finally have some success worth talking about. So, to the Space Center. Oh no, wait, not to the Space Center. Can I rename you from here? No. I need to rename this thing now because it is no longer Relay Sat 1. It is now something much, much more fancy than that. It is now rename vessel. It is now Munar Sat 1. That's right, Munar Sat. Hopefully, yep, cool. It remembers where things need to be pointed. I'm going to meet you guys at the mission debrief screen, and I will see you guys soon. Okay, here we are at the mission debrief screen. I'll be fair, sometimes I really hate this game, and when you see the mission results you'll understand why. But basically what we did today is we achieved a 40,000 orbit mission, but we achieved it with a probe, so it halves it, so it's a 20,000 mission. We're not halving it again like we have been with Kerbal, because this is the first time we have put something into orbit around the moon. So because it's the first time, it's still worth the full amount. So the next one I put in moon or orbit will only be half that, but for now anyway, we get the full amount. And then we also get the additional 2.5 that you get for putting something around the actual moon as opposed to around Kerbal. So we got 20 plus 2.5. So when we come down and have a look at things, so we didn't get anything else in here. We didn't achieve any additional bonuses, although I probably could have written up some of those crashed off craft to say that they achieved some of these achievements, but I wasn't aiming to achieve them, so I'm not counting it. I didn't have any deaths. I didn't lose any debris in an important area. There were no crew related explosions, so everything has worked mostly the way that it was supposed to. So let's have a look at the mission log. Launch Munar Comm Sat 1 to Moon orbit. That was what we ended up with. Whether that's the way that it was meant to work or not, I'm really not sure. I think I was ideally supposed to launch 3 at the same time. I built ships. I built a couple of them. I even counted the one that I caused myself a lot of difficulty by forgetting to turn the antenna on. There was the initial one here that I totally messed up. The other one that I messed up, which I don't even remember how I messed that one up. That's not that important. The important thing is I spent $82,000 on rockets to get a $22,500 mission with a 6.385,000 bonus for the ship. So not really the kind of incentive I was looking for. And I got the 10k research. So overall, I went from 124 down to 80. So that's like a 25% backward step, something along those lines. Clearly not what the space program was aiming for, but think of the prestige. We now have a satellite around the moon, and it's only going to take 1 or 2 more of them, and then we can actually start launching Kerbonauts to the moon. And you know, Kerbonauts to the moon, even if they just get to the moon and orbit it and then come back, you know, you're looking at maybe $50,000 for something that's not that expensive if it's just one Kerbanaut. So I think that's going to be on the cards really soon to try and help us recover some of this deficit. I mean, we've proven that we can do it, so now it's time to just replace this probe with a Mark 1 lander capsule and a heat shield, and I think we should very nearly be there. Anyway, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for persevering with all of my exploding ships. I hope you're not smiling from ear to ear in the way that I'm sure some of you are at my repeated failures. But anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. Astocky out.